Hi, welcome back to Therapy Designs. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kelly, and this channel is all about creating print-on-demand designs using Canva. So if that is something that you're interested in, please hit like and subscribe and stick around. So in today's video, I wanted to show you how you can create a sticker or a label like what you see here. So this is really popular, I guess is the right word. This is really popular right now because of Halloween. And so if you were to look at different sites on Etsy or Creative Fabrica, you might see a whole bunch of examples of apothecary style labels. And so that is what we have here. I will show you how you can create this on your own. I will also show you how you can create this mock-up that I made too. So if you are interested in learning about this, go ahead and stick around. So I am on Canva's homepage, and I will be designing for, well, I'm going to be designing for a sticker, but it could be used on anything. So it's technically we're going to be making sort of an apothecary label style design for Halloween. It's very popular right now. Of course, you can do these as stickers, but you could also do these as t-shirt designs, or you could do them, you know, printed directly onto things like water bottles or printed directly onto mugs or things like that. So really, you could use this for anything. So when I am designing, I am going to go ahead and stick with my 4500 by 5400 pixels. That is what I use for t-shirts, but we can also use that size for just about anything because we can always shrink it down to fit smaller things like stickers and whatnot. So I'm going to go over to the right-hand side. I'm going to hit custom size. And I will go ahead and just do 4500 by 5400 pixels, right? And I am going to be designing, obviously it's going to have a white background if I'm doing it with a sticker, versus if I was designing specifically for a shirt, usually I choose the darker colors. But because when we do stickers, the cutout stickers, usually they will have a little bit of a white background. So we're going to go ahead and just leave the white alone for now. And so we're going to create an apothecary label. Now there's tons of examples of this, especially all over Creative Fabrica. If you go to Creative Fabrica, you'll see a zillion of these. And so we can always use one of those or create our own. It's always a better idea to create your own, I think, or to use those and edit them. But, you know, you want yours to be a little bit different than everybody else's. But I do want to show you how you can do that here. So if we go to Elements, we're going to go ahead and search for Label or Labels. And what we're going to do is go to Graphics. And you're going to see all sorts of different labels in different shapes. So for example, like here would be a shape that you could use. And you could do it vertical or horizontal, but that would be like a cool old-fashioned label shape. And if I go to Magic Recommendations, you will see that there's all sorts of different ones. You know, I like all of these are kind of cool in their own way, and it gives you more recommendations. And so just tons of different labels and sizes and shapes that you can make. And really you can select any of them and just sort of create the label to fit. So in no way, shape, or form do you have to, you know, pick any one. But, you know, I just want to show you that there's a ton of different shapes out there that we can use. Some of them will already have, you know, a little bit of flourishes on the top and the bottom, and so that's kind of cool too. So it already kind of came with the little flourishes, or they'll come with the little outlines, or there's flourishes here that what you could do would be to put into an already existing sticker. So if I turn the sticker, you know, something like that, made it nice and big, for example, I could take this one and put it inside, you know, like that, to just create little flourishes in the stickers. So lots of different ways that we can start overlapping and creating different design styles with these stickers. Lots of cool stickers that we can use, and a lot of them will let you change the colors here too, so that you can get all sorts of different colors. And so I'll always go ahead, take the ones that I like typically, and just go ahead and bring them over to the side. That way I can use them again and again, or find them when I need them. So it's always good if you bring them over, you can save them to your recently used, and then when you want to use them, then you can always find them. So it's always easier to do that recently used thing. Some of these have some cool shapes to them. Some of them have some cool outlines. And so spend some time looking through, saving the ones that you like, Again, if you're going to create multiple label style designs, you probably want to have a few different shapes that you can work with. Obviously, because we're going with sort of the old style apothecary design, we don't want anything that's going to be, like this or like this. You want it to look like it's a label, like a sticker made for a jar or a potion or whatever they might put it on. And so I just wanted to show you all of these. Now I do have some saved to my recently used, so I can go ahead and do that. And so you can see here at the very top of elements, you'll see recently used. You can hit see all, and anything you just pulled up on your recently used will be here. And so here you can see some of the other ones that I had saved earlier that I liked. I do believe this is the one that I originally used to create this design. So I've made several different designs playing with all of these, of course. And so I'm going to show you this one because I did create this one not that long ago, so I can play with this one a little bit for you. So I liked the shape of this one. It was a little bit unique. I thought it might look good on any kind of like bottle or whatnot. So I'm going to make that nice and large. Now again, I can play with the colors here too. So right now that's sort of a brownish color. I could make it a grayer color or a blacker color. So just sort of depending on what I want. I could keep it the brownish color, maybe go a little bit more into the redder tones, maybe even make it a little bit darker. So whatever I like. But let's go ahead and say we're going to start with that as the label. Now, there are tons of different label styles you can do. Obviously, trademark check them to make sure that they're not trademarked. But we are talking about things like, it would be like frogworts or bat wings or raven feathers or any number of different things. We're going to do one called scorpion sting. So scorpion sting could be scorpion sting tonic or venom or powder or however you want to label it. It's going to be sort of that witchcrafty Halloween style design. So with that in mind, the first thing I did was found a picture of a scorpion. So we're going to go ahead and go to elements. And I actually had already found it. So here's the scorpion that I used. But you can always just go ahead and search for scorpion, which is what I did. And I looked at the graphics. And I was trying to find one that looked like it would belong on a label. So I really did want it to just be a one-tone thing. So I was trying to make this label so it would be all one tone, like it was printed on the label. Using just regular black ink. So I wanted it to look, obviously kind of classic old. So I wasn't going to do anything like that. So that's just a cartoony one. But again, depending on the style that you want to go with, this is the one that I think I picked right here. But there's a whole bunch of different styles and you can play with the different styles. This is the one that I decided to go with. So there is my image. And it is the only image I use. The rest of it is going to be a lot of text and using different fonts and in different places. So the first thing I wanted was the word scorpion, and I wanted to make it nice and big. Okay. So we started off with scorpion. I was going to put that towards the top here. Now I wanted it to go across the top and look good and look big. So I was looking for something that was a little bit more narrowy, but something that still had almost a little bit of a Halloween vibe to it. So when I was searching, I did search for narrow. And then I just started looking at the cool different narrow ones. And right at the top was one called Roller Coaster Seraph. And I did like that one a lot because it was nice and narrow, which means I could make this nice and big, which was important because I do want it to be able to be read really easily because that's sort of the centerpiece. So there it says, oops, I'm gonna bring that down there, scorpion. And I liked the way that that looked, and I sort of filled that bottom spot there. Now at the top, I did want to fill this shape. So when we get the labels, it's kind of all about filling the shape and making your design fit the label. Now, of course, you can pick any shapes you want. There's tons of different ones. But at the top, I decided to go with 100% natural, and then scorpion, and then sting down here to sort of fill this space. So I hit T on my text box again, and we'll go ahead and put 100% natural. Now I did want to use some different fonts, so I didn't want, oops, this font to be the same as this font. Not that I couldn't, because as you can see, I mean, it would obviously sort of go together, but I did want it to be a little bit different because I wanted the scorpion to stand out. So for this one, I just wanted a really simple, narrow. And so you can use any of the ones you want. Something like that would have worked really well. I think I just started playing with these. I ended up going with one that I use a lot, which is League Gothic. Oops. It's a really simple one, but it's nice and narrow, and so it usually works really well when I need something a little bit narrow and a little bit bold. That's just sort of your basic simple font right there. So 100% natural. Hit another T. This time we're going to go with Scorpion. No, not Scorpion, sorry, Sting. And I don't want that to be in capitals. Now again, I could have stuck with the same font. The G on that one's really cool, but I decided I wanted something maybe a little bit more scripty. So again, I went and did a search for script. And I started playing with some of these script fonts and just sort of seeing what they might look like. Like, for example, that one might not look too bad, but I think I wanted something a little bit thicker, and I just started playing that one again. That looks kind of cool, so I'm seeing the way that this looks. I ended up going with one, what was it called? Aprilia. This one. It's called Aprilia. And I liked it. It was a little bit thicker. I was going to angle it just a little bit upward, almost so that it would kind of go around the tail of the scorpion there. So that was sort of the goal. So I can bring that scorpion down so that the sting sort of goes around the tail. And so I liked the way that that looked. And then I wanted some text, obviously, on either side. And I might have even played with the angle of this scorpion here so that I could play with the sizing of him too. So lots of different ways, obviously, that we can start playing with these. Maybe making the sting a little bit smaller. Maybe bringing the scorpion, I don't know, over like that. But anyways, once you get your basic sort of general layout in, I'm going to go ahead and bring a couple more text boxes on either side. So I'm going to hit T. So lots of ways you could do this. You could put a shop name, or you could put an established by date, or you could put, I mean, lots of different things. I decided on one side to go ahead and put high potency venom. So I put high, let's see, and then venom. I know it's hard to read here. Let me shrink this down. And so high potency venom went on one side. And again, I decided to make this a different font. So I wanted it to be something a little bit easier to read. I went with a simple one. I tend to like this one quite a bit when I'm going with just sort of that simple look there. I do want to keep it nice and, nice and small. I can always go ahead and do it in bold. That always looks nice. I can also bring the line spacing up a little bit too if I want it to look a little bit more compact. And so something like that looked good, high potency venom. And then I did also want to put some text on the other side. So I think what I tried to do here would be hit a Control D, so I'm duplicating it, bring it over here. And then on this side, I decided to put like shake well before use, or shake before use. So I put shake before use. So something like that. And now again, trying to get it to all fit sort of the way I want, which can be a little bit tricky when you're trying to play with everything. Make sure you've got room on either side. And so there's usually a lot of just sort of moving things around. I do like to use the arrow keys on my keyboard too, because that way I can make little fine adjustments, so I can move things over 1 pixel at a time. So especially if I'm having trouble lining things up with my mouse. That's another thing I like to do. And so that looks pretty good here. Another one that I'd seen would be like something, if I put another line down here, I could put something like antidote not included. So that's something I've seen with the poisons. It would be like antidote not included. Let's see if I can fit that in here. So let me pull up one more text box and try that. Antidote not included. And of course, I would have to make that nice and narrow. I'd probably want it to be the same as up here, which was League Gothic. So I would probably go ahead and go back to League Gothic here. That's nice and small. And it would go somewhere there. And actually, that's not too bad. It's pretty small. If I shrunk this guy down even just a little bit, and moved this sort of up and centered. Perfect. You can see how I can get that to fit down there nice and small. So almost like a little side note at the bottom of packaging. And so right there, I really like it. I think it looks really good. It works out really well. Now, right now, all of my text is in black, right? But I did have this in sort of that sort of dark brown. So I could either do that and make it black so that it matches the fonts, or I could have always taken all of these and gone ahead and make them a nice dark brown too. So I definitely could have done something like this and made all of the text here more of a dark brown. So if I did that, I could make it like that, and then I could always change the color of this guy here to make him that brown color. And now everything's sort of that brown color, including that. So instead of going with black, I went with a dark brown. But again, you can do whatever you like. That looks good, but so does anything else you want to do. So of course, I could put this on a shirt now, or a sticker, or a mug, or a water bottle, or whatever I like. I'm going to go ahead and group the whole thing together now so that it's all nice and grouped. That way I can just go ahead and move it in the page. So I'm going to move it up, make sure it's centered. That way, if I do decide to put it on a t-shirt, you know, it's in the right spot. But for right now, I'm thinking more a sticker would be good. So let's go ahead. We'll save this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit share. We're going to hit download. We'll do a nice transparent background. It's a PNG. And we'll hit download. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and jump over to Printful and sort of show you how I could make this into a sticker real easy. So over on Printful, here I am. I'm on the product catalog, and there's all sorts of different products. If you're looking for stickers, you know, that's, I think it's in home and living. If not, it's in accessories. I have it saved to my favorites, but you can always, by the way, get these printed just on glassware or anything like that. Drinkware coasters, those would all be easy stuff to do there. Stationery. I don't know if it's on here. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to go over to my favorites because it's just easier. Bestsellers, but I'm going to go over to favorites. It's going to pull up my favorite products. And so I've got my hat, my mug, shirts, and here are stickers. So the Kiss Cut stickers. And so there's your example of the sticker, and it does have a little bit of a white background, but it will cut it out. And they're available in all the different sizes. If you're doing this for a bottle, it's probably, well, I'd offer them in all the sizes, but it's probably something that they would want in the smaller size. If they're doing this as like Halloween decorations, you put it on a bottle or whatnot. But let's go ahead and create a product template here. And we're just going to go ahead and upload our design. And so here it is. Now I want to make it fill as much of the sticker as I can without cutting off the edges there. So that looks pretty good. It fills it pretty nicely. So if I go over to where you see mockups, it's just going to show you the sticker mockup, and it'll show you how it's got sort of the white around the edge there. And so that's going to show you there, and I can go back to design. Now here we've got something that says border color, change border color. Now that's new because you didn't used to be able to do that. But now it looks like you can change the border color, which is cool because then if I wanted the border color to be black, that might actually look cool on more of a Halloween style thing. So I could definitely go more with the black here. Or I could try to match that tan color. I think it would be kind of hard to match, so black might be a better way to go. But let's try that and see what that would look like. So there it is with the black border again, and that might look kind of cool too. So depending on what you're going for, it's still going to have a kind of thick border there, but they could always cut it out if they wanted to. So looking at it with the brown, I actually kind of like the brown because it goes well with the overall kind of old look of this. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to save 2 templates. Perfect. And so now that product would be ready to go up. And so if I was using Printful, for example, I could put it up on Amazon via Seller Central. I can put it up on an Etsy shop or a Shopify shop. So I know Printify also does stickers. So whatever print company you like to use and whatever platform you like to sell on, that is how you could go ahead and do that. Real easy. I would go ahead and create my own mock-up though, so I wouldn't be using any of those mock-ups because those mock-ups showed it on like a car or a laptop. If you were making something like this specifically as an apothecary label for like Halloween decorations, for example, if you wanted to put it on Etsy, I would make my own mock-up. And to do that, I would go ahead and go back to Canva. And so I'll show you, I mean, you saw the mock-up I made, but I'll go ahead and show you here one sec. So to make the mock-up, you would have to go to your product templates, find the template you just made, hit the 3 little buttons, the vertical buttons here, you can do that, and then you can go to download mockups. So you can go ahead and start there. We'll hit choose mockup. Now you're just going to want the default sticker mockup because I don't really want, like I said, any of those, even though there is a little bit of a Halloween one. It's not quite what I'm looking for. So I'm just going to go with the basic default. I do want it to be a PNG because I do want that transparent background. So I'm going to hit generate mockups. And then you're going to have to hit the button again. This time it says download mockups. And so there's really hitting the bottom button twice. So then you hit download the mockup. After you've generated the mockup, it should download it, save that to your downloads. And then what we're going to do is jump over to Canva and I'll show you how I kind of created the mockup I did. Okay, so here is the mockup that I showed you guys earlier, and this was pretty easy to create. It really has just a couple of elements on it. So first of all, I have my sticker mockup that I got from Printful, and so all I did was I uploaded that here, and these are just layers. So I just literally went ahead and put that sticker mockup right on top of this bottle where I wanted it, and I used that to kind of create that sticker mockup there, and so perfect. The bottle was another mock-up in and of itself, so I just sort of went to elements and searched for bottles, bottle mock-up, and you have to look through different bottles to see what kind of worked for you. And then back here, I think I just put table backgrounds, and so it gives you a background where there's a table and then a backdrop. And I looked through several of those and found one that kind of looks spooky Halloweenish. To make it a little more Halloweenish, I added the spider web here in the back that you can kind of see here. That's just another layer, and so I'm just kind of layering things. And then I added this jack-o'-lantern in at the back too. And so really I'm just layering things to create this mock-up. To make it look a little bit less fake, I went ahead and threw a drop shadow on both the bottle and on the pumpkin so that it gave a little bit of a shadow on the table so it looked a little bit more like it was actually sitting on the table versus just completely a mock-up. But so that's how you can do it. And so this is kind of more of the image that I would use if I was selling this on an Etsy shop specifically for this purpose, right? Because this isn't necessarily meant to be a sticker that you put on your car, right? And so you can always create your own mock-ups. That works really well, especially if you're, selling for a specific purpose, selling on Etsy or anything like that. So that's just my recommendation. But again, I have seen tons of these styles of labels. If you go on Creative Fabrica, you will see a bazillion different apothecary style labels for Halloween. You can use those, you can change those, or you can go ahead and create your own. And again, I showed you how you can make all different shape ones too. So if you have any questions about this, drop it in the comment section below. I do try to get back to everybody as quickly as I can, and I do read all the comments, and so thank you for all of the kind words. I hope it's, helping you guys out. I hope you guys are doing really well with all of your sales and are really excited for the fourth quarter. I know that's a big quarter for a lot of people. So, try to get up as much stuff as you can in advance. Obviously, on top of the basic Halloween and Christmas stuff that you're going to have, obviously, there's going to be some of those lesser known niches. I've done a few videos on those too, but then also just think about some of your evergreens. When it comes to Christmas, remember, people are buying gifts for others and it's not necessarily Christmas stuff. So if you had a cousin or somebody who liked to go bowling, they might buy them a bowling shirt. So for example, those evergreens and those hobby style stuff does get popular too because people are giving gifts around Christmas. So pretty much get up as many different designs as you possibly can before the fourth quarter. That's not to say avoid the holiday stuff, but make sure that you do more than just the holiday stuff. I think that's all I wanted to say. I do hope to see you guys again next week. That's it for today's video. If you found that useful and would like to see more videos with helpful tips and tricks, be sure to hit like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of the weekly videos. As always, keep growing and stay creative, and we'll see you next time.